So how were you able to reverse your gut issues?
Well, I had mercury toxicity, like a lot of people. Later on, I developed mold toxicity. Every health crisis I've had in my life, there was something related, similar to all my clients actually. But the first one was mercury toxicity. I had a lot of fillings in my mouth, like a lot of people. I had several SNPs, like glutathione and other poor detox SNPs, FUT2, which is a gut SNP that predisposes you to have low bifido in the gut. It predisposes you to all the autoimmune diseases out there, including colitis, um, and a couple estrogen dominance genes like GAD1 and MAO-A and B, to name a few.
So you dived deep into your genetics.
Yeah, and then it turns out just a lot of people have this very similar SNPs. You don't have to have MTHFR, or maybe you're just heterozygous for it, but you may have like 20 other SNPs, and you're going to get into big trouble.
So how do these affect the gut?
Well, because you don't detox well, these toxins attract pathogens, and because they're antimicrobial, mercury is antimicrobial. We used to use it as a cleanser in the hospital like 50, 100 years ago. And when they're antimicrobial, they're killing off not just bad things, but they're also killing off all the good keystone flora that make us who we are. And without them working for us, detoxing for us, making good butyrate and good, antimicrobial peptides for us, our gut flora are our highest source of peptides. They make AMPs, antimicrobial peptides, that keep everything sterile, right? And the flora, from even if they surpass and go into our bloodstream, they're not like very toxic or lethal. It's because our flora, the good flora, will control and regulate all that and keep the immune system primed, to keep them from invading. So when we lose them and we lose the tightness of our gut lining, then all hell kind of breaks loose. There's a lot of invaders, and that's why people get ill and sick. And over time, we see hormones tank because it takes a lot of energy. It's exhausting to keep a tight barrier and constant pathogen, invasion. So when we heal the gut, I'll often see free testosterone for men triple. And then for
Wow.
women each month, the progesterone doubles at the peak, the peak luteal, like day 21, if they're cycling.
That's incredible. So that's by stopping the toxins and then
Yeah.
and then having the bacteria actually producing maybe important peptides for hormone production.
Yeah. Well, they're keeping the lining tight. So it's like the Great Wall of China, right? We're both like related to China. If you have the wall constantly going down, then the invaders coming in, you're spending so much extra energy in the military to keep it tight and thwarting the invaders that get through. That's like our gut lining too. We're not meant to have undigested food or flora in the gut going into the body, into the bloodstream. It takes so much energy. It's very, very exhausting. So once we tighten the gut, I have various protocols that help with that. But the main one is to reinstall the probiotics that belong at that lining, the lining level. And that's known as the MAM, M-A-M, mucosa-associated microbiota. And there's a number of flora that belong there. Number one is Bifidobacteria longum, and then Lactobacillus rhamnosus. And we have the highest strength on the market for these bacteria and its cohort. And once they're placed there, they keep everything tight. Akkermansia comes. Akkermansia is known to be a really good probiotic. When people have enough of it literally reverses diabetes in animal models. Bifidobacteria longum and Lactobacillus rhamnosus, they're kind of known as psychobiotics. They maintain a good gut-brain axis, and they reverse, in studies, anxiety, depression, and increased mood. And we have one of the highest strengths in the market for the probiotic. And so when people don't have these, they're not feeling so calm. They have akathisia, they're restless, they don't know why. They have ADD and lack of focus and brain fog. But once we get these back in, the lining of the gut tightens, zonulin goes down, all these really good things happen. And then they tell me like, oh my gosh, Grace, I'm singing in my car again. I feel happy again. I didn't realize I'm so, my mood was so low, or, I had poor focus. They didn't realize it. They had gotten so used to it for 10, 20, 30 years, let's say.